It's honestly beyond pathetic that a multi-billion-dollar game company cannot stop some basement losers. It's been literally 6 to 8 years these bots and cheaters have been infesting and literally overtaking the game with no consequence at all. These bot hosters are not only just making the game unplayable, but actually scamming unaware and desperate players in hopes that they pay the bot hosters that the players will gain immunity from the botting. Do you know how sad that last sentence sounded? You probably think it was from some random unknown crappy game, but no, this is a widely popular Valve title. A freaking Valve game. It takes actual no-life loser scum to do this to a free-to-play game, and it's even more pathetic that Valve lets all this slide. This is a crazy statement, but I honestly don't think EA or Activision would have done this bad with their botting crisis. Even if their games aren't the greatest, I'd make a heavy bet that none of this would go on for so long under their supervision. It's now at the point in TF2 where there's more bots in the actual game than actual players. And that's what's mostly truly disgusting part about all of this, is that Valve still has this game monetized and still takes community updates into the game. By updates, I mean by just finding highly rated community created hats, cosmetics, and maps on the Steam workshop and then just dumping them into the game, making players pay to gamble for them too even. Even the actual voice actors from the TF2 are more interactive with the community than Valve could ever be. And what's even more sad that I just noticed within the game is that all the crates and cases that's used throughout the last years or so are just the same cases but different colors. That takes a different type of laziness now. But if you were to take a look at the other older seasonal crates, they were all different. You can see there was some actual probably effort put into their designs. This just shows that they're barely even doing the minimum, and that's just cutting it, as they don't even gotta do any work for any of the maps or cosmetics or the hats, which means that they all could just take that into time to finding ways to rid the bots, such as authenticators or certain steps to have verified accounts, but they don't do anything and just milk their players and give them false hope. Like the last save TF2, they are just leeching off of the TF2's community's passion and love for this game, and the more I talk about it, the more disgusting it gets, as Valve is completely aware of all the bots running rampant in this game and choose not to do anything, hoping the game will probably just roll over and die out. Like that one update which they literally silenced all the free-to-play players, in which Valve thought it stopped the racial slurs from the bots and hushed down the botting crisis and the drama instead of taking an actual initiative of finding a real way to deal with the botting problem. And this feature didn't even stop the bots from being able to talk, as they just continued as they did before. All Valve managed to do was to further punish their free-to-play players by making them pay to use a chat and voice chat just to interact in an already unplayable game. And what's screwed up is that they still haven't even bothered removing this feature, just showing how greedy they really are, pinching pennies out of this bot-infested game. And all of this has been going on in TF2 for the last 6 to 8 years now, and somehow the TF2 community is still managing to go 17 years strong. This game is nowhere close to dead, as TF2 still manages to pull millions and hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube on gameplay, memes, and SFMs still. Like, it's clear this game can't die even from botters, cheaters, and even Valve's own neglect. And it's sad how they won't understand this and we have to wake them up. And it's just ridiculous that now we have to make an even greater movement just to get a multi-billion-dollar company to fix their own game they're making some money off of. Even if it's not a lot of money, we still have a functional playable game without massive amounts of botting, cheating, and neglect like this. TF2 is honestly like Valve's most neglected child. It doesn't even get minimum basic support or love except a drop of water every here and there, while his brothers and sisters are sitting there watching it suffer while being fed a buffet. But that's where it becomes very apparent that we need to fix TF2, showing Valve we will not stand for this BS. We won't just accept this steaming pile of bot BS. We as a community will not accept this treatment, because if TF2 never gets fixed from the bots, then that means it will happen in other Valve games like in CS2, which actually is already starting to happen, and then it will eventually end up getting neglected and end up a similar fate just as TF2. Because if we don't stand up to Valve, Valve will eventually see it as, oh, even though there's bots everywhere, we're still making money off it still, so I guess the bots aren't all that bad. The players will just deal with them like they did in TF2. And eventually, if it's not bots, it will lead to greater consequences. Like in Left 4 Dead 2, I heard there's a lot of DDoSing happening in the servers, which could then happen in other Valve games. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if we don't spread the word of Fix TF2 or try to save TF2, this may lead to the downfall of so many other games and not just Valve ones, as we can't let this level of neglect become a norm. Regardless of how old it is, if it's monetized, it should be maintained. Just as if you're paying for something, you should expect it to work or function. And apparently, Valve is now working on another game title called Deadlock, because yeah, when your games are dying, it's just better to leave than Left 4 Dead, I guess. Deadlock is a hero shooter, which honestly, I know it's not out yet, but it just looks bland and unoriginal. It doesn't seem appealing to me, but we'll see when it comes out in the next 10 years. But Valve making another game nobody wanted, while all of this other BS is brewing in TF2, Counter-Strike 2, and other Valve games like Left 4 Dead 2 DDoSing, is just really upsetting. So it makes me wonder, after Deadlock has been out for a good time, are they just gonna abandon it too if it gets out of control, or the Valve employees like, I'm bored of this, let's just leave it. If you don't know, Valve works in games based on what they're feeling, so just passion projects. So if that's the case, no wonder nothing gets done at all. Apparently too, they have worked on many other titles, but they end up getting scrapped because I'm assuming they got lazy or bored of it. This system of Valves is so backwards. I don't know how a company functions like this and continues to do so with all of the other BS happening in their games. I feel eventually this is what's going to lead to the downfall of a lot of other Valve games, and I feel CS2 is next. But at the end of the day, whether we win or lose, all we can do is try and keep on trying, and that's what Fix TF2 is about. We're gonna keep on trying until it keeps getting fixed, or until we get like an answer from Valve the game's done, or yeah. Well, anyways, I'll let the petition in the description below. If you haven't already signed it, I'd appreciate it if you signed it, and the community would as well. But anyways, thanks for hearing me out. I appreciate you watching. I've got a lot of things planned upcoming, so I hope you can check out my channel. But for now, I'll see you in the next. Bye for now.